Have you ever watched a pro player stream and see that they have different settings than you? Or have you observed them using gameplay mechanics that you don't? What is up, ProGuides family? How are we doing? It is your host, Sergeant Frost, and here are some of the top tips and techniques to help you level up your gameplay and take you to the next level. Do you find yourself having your crosshair high enough to be on Shaquille O'Neal's head? Or even low enough to hit Golem from Lord of the Rings? Trust me, we all have that one friend that does it. Our first hidden pro tip is to help you always aim at head level. You may have noticed that throughout all the maps, there are lines on the walls. Headshots are king in Valorant, and these lines help position your crosshair at where the enemy's head should be, which not only increases your headshot percentage, but also boosts the number of kills that you should be able to get on a regular basis. It's not only lines on walls, but objects around the map as well, such as the bookshelf on Split, for example. The headshot line here allows you to set yourself up to peak mail and vent room, ensuring you are aiming at the correct level. It's not just useful for the attackers, it can also be used by defenders to position their crosshair to get easier kills on enemies swinging from sewers. I didn't know about this tip until recently, and ever since then, the amount of clean and effortless kills I've gotten has increased. I'm sure we've all been oblivious to an enemy standing in the middle of the screen at some point in our games. Our next hidden pro tip is changing the enemy highlight color. The tried and tested default red enemy outline serves its purpose, but what if I told you you could make it a lot easier to spot enemies? By changing the enemy color to yellow or purple, you make all of your enemies stand out and then they become distinct from their surroundings. Many popular pro players such as Wardell and Asuna have this setting changed whenever they stream. This setting not only makes them stand out, but in many cases allows for you to react faster. This is because a bright yellow enemy is very hard to miss, and there's nothing else in the game that you could mistake them for. There are plenty more settings that we can't cover in this video that one of our top rated and experienced coaches can help you with. New settings get added all the time, such as HRTF audio in the last update, and you will want to know if you should or shouldn't be using it. Spoiler warning, you should, as it makes it easier to identify where sound is coming from. By booking a session with one of our expert coaches, you not only get the tips and tricks to help you dominate, but also help with setting up your game and having the correct settings to maximize your performance. Before we get back to the video, it's time for our question of the day. This one's a simple one. What enemy color do you play with? Personally, I prefer to play with purple. I feel that this is the best color for me, as I have my monitor color vibrance turned all the way up, making the purple enemies glow. While this is most likely a placebo effect exclusive to me, I feel like this color increases my reaction at times. Let us know in the comment section down below what color you play with and why. Now, let's hop right back into the video. Our next tip is to change your radar settings. Streamers often hide their radar when playing, not to give any potential stream snipers an edge. With that being said, the information you can gather from your radar is very important. The default radar settings in Valorant aren't great, to say the least. It's very clunky and doesn't give you the complete picture of what's going on around the map. Having a minimap size of somewhere between the region of 0.9 to 1.2 and a minimap zoom of 0.6 to 0.8 is ideal in my eyes. Settings in this range make it still big enough for you to have a good overview of the map while not being too big to be distracting when playing. Personally, I have a minimap size of 1.1 and a minimap zoom of 0.695, and I feel like there are only positives to changing your radar appropriately. Adjusting your radar settings allows for you to see more of what's going on around the map, where your teammates are, and where their utility is placed. Seeing more of the minimap is always an advantage as you can get more information from it. For example, it's a lot easier to see where enemies are being spotted, without having to rely on your team to communicate it to you. Warming up is a key part of any professional player's routine before they play. If the pros are doing it, you should too. It can be the difference between them going on a heater and getting 30 kills, or it could lead to them having a very mediocre to an outright bad game. By warming up, you are getting yourself in the zone to play, and you allow yourself to quickly become comfortable with your settings and sensitivity. Warming up for 10 minutes is a minimum in my opinion, as anything less isn't really sufficient enough to get yourself tuned in and ready to go. If you play other games, warming up allows you to readjust to Valorant's movement and aiming mechanics before you hop into a game, preventing you from spending half of it feeling clunky and uncomfortable. Whether you like to shoot bots, or complete some of the courses in the target range, or run around like an aim demon in a deathmatch, it's up to you on how you decide to warm up. While talking about deathmatch, I think it's a good time to talk about our next pro tip. Deathmatching for the sake of doing it won't help you improve, or at least won't help you improve significantly. Playing it to win only helps you maintain your current aim skills, and doesn't help you improve in any areas considerably. Counter-Strike's aim god, Nico, plays deathmatch by going for one-taps only, which improves his aim significantly. This not only develops his aim with rifles, but also for all other weapons as well. In reality, at the professional level, the first 1 to 2 shots often decide the outcome of an aim duel, which is why pros practice their aim as often as they can. Duelist players like Scream and the lesser-known Valorant both have monster headshot percentages, powering their team to victory and making the game look easy while doing it. By playing deathmatch like Nico and focusing on one aspect of your aim, you are sure to shine in game and improve faster than you ever have before. Our next pro tip is learning when is the best time and place to aim down sights. In my ranked games, I often see players aim down sights at the wrong time or simply using it incorrectly. While aiming down sights has negative effects such as slower movement speed and a reduced rate of fire, sometimes these can work out in your favor. The magnification that aiming down sights provides can turn a 50-50 gunfight into a 60-40 or better. I bet you're thinking, how is that so? By ADSing, you make the enemies appear bigger on your screen, making them easier to hit in return. This feature excels at longer ranges, such as B long on Icebox or C long on Haven. Not only does this make them easier to hit, but the slower fire rate of this alternate fire mode also changes how the recoil works on the guns. It changes it so that the spray follows your crosshair instead of the usual pattern, which makes it a lot easier to kill the opponent, as spraying traditionally in longer range duels can be difficult. This is a technique that even players at a mortal elo don't use, giving those who do utilize it an advantage. Jump spotting is an easy way to get information, which is why I'm puzzled that so many players don't do it at all. By jump spotting from cover, you gather information somewhat safely. As mentioned in other videos, risk-free information is the best kind of information, and while this isn't completely risk-free, it's close enough the majority of the time. Let's be real here, not everyone in ranked is as mechanically gifted as Scream or Tens. It'll be quite rare that you get punished from jump peeking the first time an enemy spots you. The worst case scenario the majority of the time is you get body shot once and lose 40 HP. Popular jump peeking positions are back B sight on bind and bouncing your head off the floor in hell on ascent. Doing the latter as breach and flashing green box when you see an enemy is a popular way to play the site, as you get both information and it scares the enemy away from immediately trying to punish you. Combining a jump peek on bind with a raise grenade into hookah is a surefire way to slow down the enemy's attack or even just damage them. Do you ever find that killing full flash enemies can be the hardest kills to get? This is because by the time you have pulled out your gun and have gone to swing, they are usually regaining their vision. So, how do you work around this and still capitalize on the enemy's blinded state? Well, it's pretty simple. Coordinate flashes with your teammates. By coordinating your team with your utility, you increase your chances of winning the round. A well-rounded and functional team will more often than not stomp on a team that is focusing on individual plays. Vision Strikers in Korea recently hit 100 series wins in a row. A key part of this streak was their masterful breach plays in game. Stacks perfectly placed flashes and enabled his teammates to steamroll bomb sites and demolish the competition. Flashes and smokes directly counter an enemy using the operator as it forces them off angles or blocks their line of sight, negating the impact of the gun. Your ranked teammates may not be a Korean jet prodigy, but flashing for them and working with them allows for them to sweep up kills and win you games. Guns like the Odin and Guardian have high penetration, allowing players to tilt the enemy by sending a large barrage of bullets their way through cover. The Odin is Sova's best friend, especially on ascent. By shooting a recon dart behind a wall-bangable surface such as B main on ascent, Sova can flatten an enemy attack without giving them a chance to reply. The Odin is borderline broken. Most players just don't seem to use it, at least in ranked. In the open qualifier for the VCT Stage 2 Challengers 1, TSM got dismantled by Immortals 13-1 on Haven. Gangsta got 10 kills in the first half with using the Odin alone. While this definitely was not the sole reason they swept TSM, it was undoubtedly a blow to TSM's mentality, especially as the LMG shredded them through walls at the start of rounds, giving them no chance to push Gangsta. Wallbanging unsuspecting enemies is one of the most satisfying ways to kill them, and it results in them tilting off the face of the earth as well. The Odin is a popular gun in Korea and Brazil, but most of the West still hasn't picked it up yet. By implementing this off-meta gun into your game, you will win more defensive rounds because of its insane fire rate and wallbanging potential. Our final pro technique is faking attack hits. A well-sold fake on a bomb site creates chaos for the enemy team's positioning and information, often allowing you to stroll into the other bomb site before they realize it was all a ruse. An easy way to sell a fake is by using Killjoy's lockdown. This ultimate takes time to go off, making it perfect for you to sneak away as the enemies think it's only logical that you will wait to push in. One of my favorite fakes with this ultimate is on B main split. By placing the ult in Smoking Heaven, the enemies have no idea what's actually going on, while your team beelines it through your spawn to the A site. While a Killjoy lockdown makes it very easy to sell a fake, it's not always necessary. You can peek something as 3, get your smoker to place a few smokes and retreat. This is usually enough to be somewhat convincing and buys you a few seconds to rotate as the enemies are pulled from their usual positions during this time. Well, we hope that you take some of these tips and techniques and implement them into your own games. If you enjoyed the video, then please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. To keep up to date with us, make sure you hit that bell notification, which ensures that you stay up to date with our videos and ahead of the competition. If you want to learn more about anything Valorant related, head over to ProGuides.com for the very best Valorant on-demand coaching. Our coaches are among the very best, and we hope that you check them out if you enjoyed this video. They will help you with any of your individual Valorant needs and can bring you to the next level. If that's not your style, make sure to check out our Discord. We have a great community where you can chat, hang out, and possibly find new friends to play with. Stay tuned for our future videos and keep up the grind, ProGuides fam. This has been your host, Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all in the next one.